I still remember the night she told me. Her face glowed, like she had stumbled upon treasure. "It's simple," she said. "We help his family, and in return, we'll earn more than we could in 10 years. It's just my body, my choice." I looked at her, my wife, my partner, the woman I thought I'd grow old with. And she was telling me she wanted to carry another man's child. Not just any man, but her boss, a man already drowning in wealth, power, and status. And, it seemed, a man who now also had her loyalty. I told her no, calm, steady, final. But she met my eyes with that familiar fire, the same stubbornness I once admired, and repeated the words that shattered us. It's my body, my choice. In that moment, she stopped being my wife. I stopped being her husband. We weren't perfect, but we had history. The kind built in tiny apartments, on mattresses without frames, through nights when all we had was each other. I remembered how she once looked at me like I was the center of her world. I defended her when her family dismissed me as average, ordinary. I thought love and loyalty were our foundation. But it turned out, everything I built rested on sand. Because her choice wasn't just about her body. It was about our life, our promises, the vows we had made. She was willing to gamble all of it for money. For him. A man who was married, rich, and effortlessly charming in that smug, untouchable way. He didn't want her, not as a wife, not as a lover. He only wanted her womb. And she offered it willingly, smiling, as if she had been chosen for some holy role. I had seen the signs long before she confessed. The late nights at the office. The secretive texts. The spark in her eyes whenever she mentioned his name. Still, when I finally saw the message on her phone, it cut through me like a blade. His words dripped with gratitude for her sacrifice, for saving his family. No mention of me. No recognition that she had a husband at home, watching the woman he loved dissolve piece by piece. The betrayal wasn't her body. It was her heart. That was the night I stopped pretending I didn't see. Revenge doesn't roar, it whispers. It waits. It sharpens itself in patience. First, I learned. I studied the law, surrogacy contracts, parental rights, financial responsibility. I met with lawyers, not to file for divorce yet, but to prepare, to separate myself from the fallout of her choices. To draw the line between what was mine, what was hers, and what would never be forced upon me. Second, I gathered. Every message. Every contract. Every signature. Evidence layered like bricks, building a quiet fortress. I made sure everything was in place. I gathered proof, pages and pages of it, showing she entered this arrangement by choice. No one could argue otherwise. Then, quietly, I shifted the ground beneath her feet. New accounts only in my name, discreet investments, a different home prepared in secret. While she was busy dreaming of the payoff, I was building my exit. I let her play her hand fully. I waited for her to give herself away. And when she finally did, telling me with trembling pride, her belly just beginning to show, that she was carrying another man's legacy, I didn't react with rage. I just nodded. Calm. Almost gentle. She thought my silence was defeat. She thought she had won. But I was already steps ahead. The unraveling was deliberate. I stopped sleeping beside her, citing a false concern. The baby might be at risk. She mistook it for tenderness. Next, I went to her family, not with anger, but with weary sorrow. I told them she had made her choice. I respected it, but I could not raise another man's child. That was enough. Their expressions hardened, not in sympathy for her, but in disappointment, shame. To them, I became the patient, betrayed husband. She became reckless, selfish. Then I erased myself financially. By the time money from her so-called arrangement came through, she had no access to me or my resources. Pregnant, isolated, and dependent, she had nothing but her decision to cling to. The breaking point came the day she held out the ultrasound photo, eyes pleading as if it were a gift of love. "You'll love this baby too," she whispered. I stared at the image, then at her, and spoke the words like a blade. "No. That's his child. Not mine. Not my responsibility." The silence crushed her. Her hands shook, her smile fell apart. She begged me with reminders of vows, of love. But I saw nothing but betrayal dressed as hope. Her family later called me cold, accused me of cruelty. I reminded them of her mantra, my body, my choice. And I told them plainly, choices bear consequences. She carried the pregnancy without me, crying through sleepless nights, begging for forgiveness that couldn't undo the damage. I never returned. I remained distant, steady, unshaken. Her boss kept his bargain, yes, but only with money. He never gave her devotion, never touched her heart. She was just a vessel. When the child was born, he returned to his untouched life, his wife, his family. She, meanwhile, was left with ashes, no husband, no home, no dignity. And me? I felt no regret. Not for my silence, not for my distance, not for walking away. My revenge didn't need fury or spectacle. It was clean, exact. She destroyed herself with her own choices. I only stepped aside and let the fall happen. Now, when her calls come, when her family pleads for mercy, I have only one answer, not my baby, not my problem. And that is enough.